Hi, this is Christina Adams, and this is the place where we talk about God, Christianity, and life. Right now, we're going to talk about the difference between attributes versus character traits as pertaining to God and our knowledge of Him. We know from the Bible there's a lot of words that are used to describe God, and there are a lot of things that we can imply from the things that God has done as to who and what He is. But we often will use words like attribute or character trait. And there is a big difference between the two. So, an attribute is something that specifically describes what something is and the parameters through which that thing exists. So, like we know God is spirit. And we know that we have a physical body, and that is a very specific difference between us. Like humans are also spirit, but we are not in the same way that God is, or at least our physical bodies prevent us from seeing ourselves as spiritual beings most of the time. But God, He is spirit, and that is one way of defining what He is. And there are a lot of other words that are considered attributes. Attributes would be words like omnipresent, omnipotent, all knowing, eternal. These are all terms that describe what kind of thing God is and how it is that or what kinds of things it is that God can do. Like He knows all things, He sees all things, He is all things, He's all powerful, He's sovereign. He has the ability to greater abilities than we do, or that most of the time we can really even imagine. And so all of these things tell us what kind of thing God is. But these things are not necessarily character traits. Now, a character trait is something that has been either taught or done so many times through habit that they have become an actual part of who we are. And with God, He has either chosen or had these character traits within Himself that He has used and done so consistently that they are now vital to who He is. And character traits are things like his compassion, His graciousness, His mercifulness, the fact that He is slow to anger and patient, and that He is abounding in love and faithfulness, that He is forgiving, that He is just and righteous and good. These are all character traits. These things explain how God uses the attributes that He has. So we know, for instance, that He is everywhere. He sees all things, but His character tells us how He uses the things He sees. So we know that He is compassionate, and so when He sees with the intent to suffer with us and to care about us. We know that He is all powerful, and we also know that He is just. And so we know that He uses His power to bring about justice and righteousness and to provide for His people. And between these two, then we know what He is, and we know how He uses what He is and how He interacts with us. And so we also know through His character traits what we can depend on Him to do and to be. And this is a really great way to grow our trust in God. So if we know that He is slow to anger and patient, then we know that we don't have to be as concerned about one mess up that we had today. Or we know that, nobody is beyond his reach just yet, because if they're still around, He is still being patient with them. And so it gives us hope, and it gives us reasons to hope. And not just because we know that the Bible says these things, but because we actually know who God is and how He interacts with us. So both attributes and character traits are really important for us to understand who God is. But it is character traits, I think, that really give us an idea of what kind of God it is that we're interacting with. So have you ever read studies on God's character or God's attributes? Which ones have you really connected with? I'd be really interested to know what kinds of things that you've learned about God, and where you what areas that you would like to grow more in. Like, would you like to learn more about God's attributes and to know what He is, or would you like to learn more about God's character? I'd love to hear about it in the comment section below, and I will hope to respond to you soon. All right, God bless.